In this video, I will tell you about 5 things that people hate about life in Canada. Yes, you heard me right. 5 things that people hate or dislike about Canada. Canada is a very nice country to live in. We moved here more than 11 years ago, and we still think that it's a very nice and one of the best country for living and raising family. But over the years, we noticed that there are certain things people really hate about Canada or dislike about Canada. Sometimes people are just exaggerating, but sometimes their concerns are real, and sometimes it depends on a case. But these things you should know before moving to Canada. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. So let's start. First thing that people complain the most in Canada is healthcare. This is a very polarizing issue. Some of the biggest complaints are the following: waiting time. In some cases, you would need to wait for scheduled surgery that is not life-threatening. Waiting list could be very long. Waiting list also could be very long to see a particular specialist. If you go to emergency room, most likely you would have to wait for a few, or in some cases 6 to 8 hours in a waiting room. Depends on how serious is your problem. Another great complaint people have about life in Canada is housing. Housing is the biggest expense people have in Canada. The average price for homes in Canadian biggest and the most popular cities are very high. These days you need to have a very good income in order to afford to buy even a small condo. Third thing is living expenses. The living expenses in Canada are also very high. Things like groceries, cell phone and internet plans, commute both by personal car, vehicle or public transportation. Those things are pretty expensive in Canada overall. 4. Weak public transportation. The public transportation system are not the best if compared to Europe, for example. If you live in the core of a big city like Toronto, Montreal or Vancouver, the transportation is fine there. Most likely you'll be okay. But if you live somewhere in a suburb or even slightly further from downtown, the public transportation could be a challenge. Sometimes like to go across to go from one part of Toronto to another, you would need to spend like an hour or 2 hours using the public transportation. So that's not very good. But if you live somewhere in a suburb or remote town or hamlet, you would not survive without a personal car. There won't be any public transportation available, except maybe like a bus that's gonna go twice a day somewhere to bigger city. And another complaint that people have about living in Canada is the weather. Yes, people complain a lot about the weather in Canada. Even those who immigrate from Eastern Europe, where the climate is pretty similar and winter is as cold as in the major Canadian cities. Of course, we can exclude the great Canadian city Vancouver and Metro Vancouver. People who live there, they don't complain much about weather, except if they will complain about a lot of rain. But yes, weather complaint is pretty real. If you're not a big fan of winter, snow and skiing, you might feel miserable during long Canadian winter. Again, except Vancouver. In Toronto area, winter can start around October and end around May. For Montreal, Halifax, Ottawa, Calgary, Quebec City, winter could be pretty harsh and snowy also. In Saskatchewan or Manitoba provinces, winter could be even colder and longer. So those are 5 most popular things that people hate or dislike about Canada. As I said, those reasons are pretty legit and real, but at the same time, some of these complaints are case-by-case situations, and some are just a matter of your personal point of view. So is this really that bad, or people just complaining by nature? In one of my next videos, I will share my opinion on those problems and see if there is another point of view on them. Let me know what you think about these problems. Leave your comment down below. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye now.